So I decided to do a reading for the people who have absolutely nothing going on in 2022. Because I keep getting all these tarot card readings about, you're going to find love, it's coming, someone's coming, and nothing's happened, right? So, I mean, yes, I do stay home a lot, and I understand you have to go out because the universe can only work with the circle that you allow yourself to be in. So you actually have to get out of the house and be around different people in order to meet somebody, right? I get that. That's why I was doing the documentary, but then the universe brought me back here to start this venture of tarot card reading. So I'm going to pull some oracle for you guys. I'll give it to you at the end, and then we'll do some tarot to find out why things... I just gave you guys a few reasons why things might not be moving around, because you're literally not physically putting yourself out there in order to meet somebody. But let's see what else it could be. I've since made changes in my life where, like, I make sure that I go out 3 or 4 times a week to open up the possibility of me meeting somebody. But again, you have to kind of really get out there. And I know that if you're not vaccinated, it makes it a little bit more difficult because you're not allowed in all the places, and then you have to get the PCR test and blah, blah, blah. So I totally get that. So for all of the people viewing who are not seeing any progress in 2022, other than possibly the completion of something, what messages do you have for them? Justice, it's coming. 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is usually a very defensive energy. The new beginning in love is coming. You're defensive because things aren't happening. Empress, you are where you're supposed to be to receive what you're supposed to receive. Oh, this one flipped over. Strength. You have to tend to yourself. To me, I don't look at this as strength. I look at this as, I mean, unless it's part of the reading, is see how she's taking care of the lion. I feel like that's your inner child. That's you taking care of yourself, tending to yourself, preparing yourself. This turned around. You're hopeless right now, because that's my hope card, the white numen. It comes with the deck. So I just labeled it hope and then no hope. 5 of Pentacles. You're still struggling. Well, duh. No, we said. Let me stop. You do feel left out in the cold because you're seeing all these other people getting everything that's in the tarot card readings, and here you are, the anomaly in the matrix, not fitting in with all the other readings when you used to fit in. So it makes you wonder if you made the right decision. You have information and you have a knowing, because right now I just said it makes you wonder if you made the right decision. Like for some people that broke up with somebody and you're not seeing like any progress on your end, maybe they've already moved on and moved on to somebody else. Knight of Wands. This message will be coming soon. A passionate message. Could be from somebody from your past. But you're sitting here wondering like, hey, why is nothing happening? Maybe I should have stayed with that person. Because I know I felt that way. Right? And that's why I made this reading. I was like, there has to be people out there that are like, why is nothing happening for me? 7 of Wands. You're just very defensive. You can't be defensive when this person shows up. And that could be why some of you haven't received your blessings yet, is because you're still hurt. You're still defensive. You think this person's going to come and heal you. But that's not always the case. The case is you need to be ready for them. And if you're defensive, you're only going to push them away. So let go of your defenses. Let go of that like bitter energy, if that's what you have, or that like, why is it taking... I don't know if you guys ever saw that meme about this guy and girl and they're holding hands and they're walking down the street. And it's like, I waited my whole life to meet you. I'm so happy I met you. And then all of a sudden he like puts her in a headlock and he's like, where have you been all my life? Why did you take so long? You know how many hearts you know how many people broke my heart? You know how many times I had to recover from, you know? And it was so funny because I'm like, I know exactly what that feels like. I can't wait to meet that person, but I'm so angry that it took so long. I think that's what's hindering you. And I know it's hard to release that. I'm going to read these cards in a minute. But I think that's what it is when it says, like, you're still defensive. You know, they're coming. So 4 of Cups, you're still holding on. Jesus Christ. You're still holding on to that defensive energy. 5 of Swords. And that's what's stopping you from being able to let go. You're supposed to take your swords, put them in the boat or in your backpack, go wherever you got to go and bury them. Let it go, right? 9 of Wands, you're taking your burdens with you into the new relationship. You can't do that. 8 of Pentacles, you have to work hard. 3 of Pentacles to change so that you can take that action to move forward. Jeez, this is a good reading. Thank you. Thank you, God. Next. Anything else? You can get the 10 of Pentacles. You just have to do this work. You know, people aren't going to show up when you're not ready. Ugh. Gotta let it go. It's not easy to let it go. I mean, I should do a whole workshop on how to let things go, because it's just not easy, especially if you were truly betrayed. Like, you can't even understand how the other person did this. 4 of Pentacles. Oh, my apologies. Before I said 4, you're still holding on to this energy. No. You're defensive, and then the 4 of Cups, which is, oh my gosh, brain fart. Rejecting the offer. So you might not even be able to see the person that you're meant to be with, because you're still angry and bitter. You're not even seeing them in front of you. This is holding on. Like, you're still holding on to this bitterness. Either way, they're both cards are here. But you're not even giving people a shot because you're so jaded and bitter and angry. Or you're holding on to something that's stopping you. Maybe you're holding, like for some people, it was holding on to a relationship. But I came here because of the people who actually let go of that relationship and still aren't seeing anything happening. It's like, what's going on? Like, give me some information. And this is what I'm getting for you guys. And for myself, because I need this information. But I can't read for myself. I can only read for you guys. They won't let me see my future. 9 of Swords. You're preparing to let it go. This Tower moment. So you're not letting go of this pain from the Tower moment. Let me just move the cards over so you can see everything. You're not letting go of the pain from the Tower moment. And with this one, it was the Knight of Wands is coming, but you're defensive, right? Wait, I knew there was a 4. You might not even take the offer. You might not even see the offer. 4 of Cups. 5 of Swords. You have to let go of all of this 9 of Wands, burdens, 8 of Pentacles, and work to get this 10 of Pentacles. Does that make sense? Oh, there's another one. 3 of Pentacles. Change is required to get the 10 of Pentacles. You have to work on change. Does that make sense? And then this one. Your justice is releasing. Like, you're defensive, but you have to release these, what's that thing called? Burdens. To me, wands are all burdens. They could be action too. Because there's a new love coming when you get into your Empress energy. It's going to take a lot of strength, because right now you have no hope. This is the numen is hope for me. There's white numen and black numen. White is no hope or hopeless, and white is hope, but it's reversed. And then you have the 5 of Pentacles. You feel left out in the cold, or you left somebody out in the cold because you knew that's what you had to do after you got the information that you needed, which put you into this, you know, this person's going to come, but you're not even seeing it. And we went over this already. So I just wanted you guys to see it. Anything else? Any final messages or thoughts? Let me just pick these up. So, because sometimes you need the cards that are already on the table to complete the reading. Any final thoughts for anybody out there? 10 of Cups. Wow. It's coming. You could have this. You could be happy. You just have to do the work. You have to do the healing. You have to let it go. Truly let it go, in the sense that, like, when this new person comes in, you don't even have a need to talk about it. Like, I feel like if you start talking about what happened in the last relationship with this person, you might muddy the new relationship. You know, so you just have to go in there like as if nothing bad has happened in your life, which is really hard to do. You know, but with that pureness and innocence that you had before you met the person that hurt you, or before the situation happened that hurt you, change. Moon. Secrets coming out. I feel like however you were before you met this person or this situation happened, you have to harness that energy and you have to find a way to get back there. Action is required. There's a choice that needs to be made. You need to move towards a certain direction. And when you can get back to who you were, then you can meet the person you were meant to be. Meet, because he's going to love that girl or that guy before you got hurt. Yeah, Ace of a clear new beginning and Two of Cups, love. And it's because I think what happens is you've experienced good. Ace of Swords for me is you've experienced good, you've experienced bad. You're now able to make a clear decision, right? So I think now that you've experienced whatever you went through, you have to make the choice to not let that hold you down like crabs in a bucket. You can't let that like have a chain on your ankle. Like here you are trying to move into a direction and there's this chain on your ankle that doesn't let you move forward. And it's not like you take a nail file and you kind of like break the chain, but it's your thoughts, your beliefs. You have to reframe your thoughts and you have to change the way you think about the situation. And what I've learned that works, because I do a lot of relationship and counseling and coaching and stuff, is you know, and it's working for me, but it's, you know, like it's hard when you're the one going through it, right? So what happens is changing the thought process of why did this happen to me, as because it's not something that you did, it's something that happened to you. You didn't do this, you didn't make this happen, you didn't create this situation, it happened to you, right? But look at the lesson. Like, what did I learn from this? How can I make this positive? It's like alchemy, turning lead into gold. So now you're sitting here and you're trying to turn a negative situation into something positive. Well, this happened, but what can I gain from it? What is the lesson that I've learned? How do now I can identify this type of personality. Now I know that is not what I want. So whenever I feel that energy in my presence, I'm not going to go towards that because I know that that's not what I want. You know, so now you're able to clearly define, Ace of Swords, what it is that you want so that you can attract it, but also so you can go towards it and you're not going towards the other energy. You're now deflecting it because you have the knowledge of what you don't want and you know how to identify that. Does that make sense? So when you start looking at it like that, you start thinking like, what else did I learn? What else? Okay, cool. Okay, now I know that and blah, blah, blah. All right, well, this person, you know, and not looking at it like your end all be all. Like, this is just a stepping stone. I always tell myself and I tell people that, like, until you get married, and even then, you know, or you have like a serious commitment that leads to marriage, everyone else is just practice, getting you ready for that person. But you're not supposed to take the pain with you. You're just supposed to take the lesson, right? So that you can be ready for when you meet this person. And I think for a lot of people out there, you're about ready to meet this person, but you're still holding on to this negativity, which is then going to repel the person. So you don't want to be someone that's going to repel the person you're meant to be with. Seven of Cups. You have a lot of choices and a lot of ways to look at something. And it's your choice that's going to determine whether or not you attract this person and whether or not you're able to sustain a relationship with them based on your mind frame, if that makes sense. So your oracle says release. Let your inner child out, which was like that strength card. So basically, like when you're hurt, your inner child is like sitting down in a kneeling position, holding their knees, like rocking back and forth because they're traumatized from what happened. Like, you're an innocent, pure soul, and here comes something or somebody that really just shakes your whole world. So you want to let your inner child out and let them know that this pain is over. You know, we're moving on to something else. We're going to find a new friend to play with, if that makes any sense to you guys. Bridget, you might know somebody named Bridget. And it says, caution is warranted. Look deeper into the situation before proceeding further. So also when you meet people, don't just jump into something. Kind of look at it for what it is. Because in relationships, when we're hurt, it's because we see things with rose-colored glasses. Like, we see the potential and we see the person and we're hoping that they're going to be better or they're going to grow into something. Just look at it for what it is. Exactly what it is in that present moment. Not what it could be. Not what their possibility is. Not just what is this happening right now. Is this a good situation or a bad situation? Vesta, home. Your household situation is improving either through a move or healthy change in the occupants. For the people that walked out or left. That's hysterical. Break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. And that's what you're doing right now. You're changing everything so you can rewrite your future. I like to show you the pictures in case it means anything to you. Like, you might know someone who looks like this, right? Or like this. So that's why I show you the pictures. Activated. Activated earth. Power places, ley lines. Trust where you're led. So for all those people that, like, sometimes you're sitting at home and something's like, go to Dunkin' Donuts, and you're like, I don't want to go to Dunkin' Donuts. Well, maybe if you go to Dunkin' Donuts, you're going to meet somebody right there. But because you didn't go at the time that your intuition told you, by the time you go, that person's gone. You know, sometimes you get a feeling like, go to the supermarket now, go to the store, go here, you know, and you're like, why? Well, because your intuition's trying to do a really cute meet cute so you can go meet that person, right? But you're not doing it because you don't want to. And now you're fighting, you know, the universe trying to get you to where you're supposed to be. Does that make sense? Share. When you share, everyone feels happy. And that also means sharing your feelings, your experiences. Even though they're negative, you're teaching people what not to do. They're learning through your experience so that they don't have to go through it. She-wolf, unleash the wild within. Oh, some of you have really been holding it in. Some of you are really holding it in. Look at how that fox, I don't know if it's a fox or it's a wolf, right? Is eating her. Like, that's you coming out of the defense that you needed to be defensive. You needed to be like, rawr, to protect yourself and to finally to have the strength to move on, right? And you could be masculine or feminine. It doesn't matter. You know, my readings, I just say that you're the feminine and they're the masculine. It's just easier for me to reach everybody, right? But switch the roles as it needs to be. But she's coming out of that defensive energy. She's coming out of that, like, I have to protect myself. And she's really just being free, which is that releasing your inner child issue. Nostalgia or situation. Focus on the here and the now. Buddhists, right? Because, you know, I'm doing that indigenous documentary that I'm working on. Buddhists, they believe that the only reason people suffer is because they're holding on to something. They won't let go. They have attachments, right? If you live in the present moment, you can't be angry, because in the present moment, you are just admiring or enjoying what is happening now. It's only if you live in the past that you have grief, sadness, lost, longing, any other emotion other than joy. And sometimes when you look at the past, you have joy, but you're not in the present moment. If you look at the future, you have anxiety, stress, you know, like trying to figure out what's going to happen, planning. You're not in the present moment. But in the present moment, the true present moment, you actually find joy and happiness. You cannot feel any of those other emotions unless you're in pain, meaning like you just got into an accident or something, you twisted your ankle. Then you'll be in pain in the present moment, but you won't be in your head suffering from the past breakup. Do you know what I mean? Or you won't be worrying about what's going to happen next. You'll just be focused on, okay, I'm in pain. Now I need to go to the doctor. You know what I mean? So just kind of like live in the present moment. Souls that belong to each other will always find their way back together. If it's meant to be, it's going to be. I've had people come back 20 years after the fact, you know, and I was already in a relationship. But if they really love you and care about you, they will be back, you know? And some of you guys are like, I don't want them back. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But it doesn't mean that it's this person. It could be someone that you met in grammar school or high school or at a meet cute, or just a random person that you met that you bump into again. And then that ends up being somebody that you date, you know? If you're meant to be with them for however long you're meant to be with them, because not everybody's meant to be together forever. Some people are literally only meant to be together for a day, a week, a month, 10 months, a year. You know what I mean? Like, and then we fight because we want it to last longer. But if you let go of that, when it's time to let go, you will find that the next thing is even more enticing and exciting and amazing. You know, like each experience is only supposed to get better. Does that make sense? But we don't let go a lot of times. And then the last card is lead the way. Be a leader, show others how it's done. You can help others. You help others through your example. By showing them that you can move on, they'll know that they can move on. By showing them how you got over something, they know they can get over something. By showing them that you moved on and you found new love, they know they can move on and find new love. You know, we all learn from the examples before us. Everything that is in our heads is the belief of what we've already seen, or we're told that we're choosing to believe. So that's the message I have for all the people out there like me who are feeling like hopeless or like, why is it not happening yet? Like, I've been sitting here since like December, November, and I'm twiddling my thumbs, and there's no message, no phone call, no text message, no nothing. I haven't met anybody. You know, like 2 guys came back, but I would never date those people, you know? But like, yeah, well, maybe you're not supposed to date them. Maybe you're just supposed to hang out with them and learn something in the conversation that you're supposed to have with them, which I did talk to them. But you're not really supposed to like go out and then make out and date them. Like, no, like if your intuition is like no, then it's a no. But it doesn't mean that you can't talk to them. You know what I mean? So that's what I have for you guys. Bye.